Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel. Can we talk with Monique? I am Monique. Let's get right into this. So a couple of weeks ago, I told you that I would be covering stories like the super mayor, Tiffany, that's in Dalton, but also Fani Willis. Okay, and this hearing and this trial. And y'all, I was working today at my desk and listening to the hearing or trial or whatever it's called. And y'all, I had to look up sometime and be like, I thought a fight was about to break out. You see her here? Fanny, she had on her fuchsia colored dress, her pink dress. She had on her pearls, her strand of pearls, her pins on her lapel there. And honey, that neck was twirling, that finger was going. And at some point, look, y'all, she held up some documents. I didn't know she was about to pull off her earrings and put on her sneakers and start fighting with the lawyers. And poor Judge McAfee, he seems like a very nice judge. He's kind of being more lenient, it looks like, on the, as far as the questioning, of Miss Fani Willis. But y'all, I just thought of when I saw her, she is the DA, okay? The DA, the prosecutor that was supposed to prosecute Trump in the RICO situation. And I was thinking she was going to be reserved, decorum, hunty. Like I said, that neck was going. She was like, look at here, look at here. And she was just giving these long theses and soliloquies on things. And I was like, sis, just answer the question, yes or no. But then when I have to look on the other side, she's fighting for her life, her reputation. When I say her life, her reputation, her income, and all of this other good stuff. So she, to me, is doing a whole lot. And I think it's coming off with attitude, offense, ghetto. It is really, that's what it's giving me, y'all. I cannot make this up. I was so surprised. And hey, on this channel, we talk about a lot of things and I give reactions and commentary, but we also talk about some toxicity and some certain behaviors. We talked about gaslighting. Well, honey, they were gaslighting all day long. Stuff could be written in black and white and they'll answer no to the question when the answer is yes. It's like, wait a minute. Now, gaslighting, people, and just, in my opinion, just not telling the truth at all. Like when it came to the dates with certain things, no. The interrogatories, or is that how you say it? Y'all correct me. The interrogatories where they, ask you these questions, ahead of time of the trial, and it's admitted into evidence. Well, on some of the interrogatories, what they've answered, they're answering today in the hearings the opposite of that. So which one is true? They're just gaslighting all over the place. Look, these are the folks that run the country and run the world, okay? Some of these folks think they're God. Some of them believe that they're above the law. But y'all, this hearing was so good today. Like I said, I had to stop, lift my glasses up, look at the screen and be like, Fanny, come on, sis. Calm down. And then they had to take a break. I was like, what in the world? They took a break, like a 5-minute break. Like I said, I didn't know she was about to put on her Pro-Keds or her Skippies, take off her earrings and start fighting. At one point, she held up some papers and I thought she was going to throw it at somebody, literally. So, I guess some people could say she's doing what she has to do in this situation, but I think it's not coming off as a good look. People are saying, yep, that's who you are. You are ghetto. You are not telling the truth. You are disingenuous. You have a bad, nasty, stinking attitude. This is what this is giving to me. I'm not there, but I'm watching it and I'm cringing in my seat for sis. I'm like, sis, just answer the question, yes or no. And then when he wants to answer, when they're questioning her and asking her specific yes or no questions, she goes into these long explanations. And I believe like the judge is just giving her, I've never been in a courtroom and I don't, but so much explanation. Well, there was a time when I was lonely. I was like, what in the world? Is she going to start singing, moonwalking? Y'all, this is very, very interesting. But it lets me know that one, of course, they didn't think they would ever be in this position. They didn't think that business would get out in the street. And it's unfortunate. right? It really is unfortunate. But two, when you are in the highest level of government or in certain echelons, you have to, walk that straight line. And unfortunately, that didn't happen. It was admitted that they did have an intimate affair while he was married. And there was some trips and things that were going on. So they did admit that. And then there was some, as far as time frames, but I'll get into that another time. But honey, you see this finger right here? Fannie was like, feed five for Fannie. Fannie was doing the most today. I didn't, in my opinion, y'all, for real. We can joke, we can laugh. It just didn't look good. It didn't feel good. And all of that attitude and offense, it came across as, I have been the boss. I am the boss. And you, even on this stand before the world, I'm going to tell you no when it's a yes and yes when it's a no. And I'm used to doing what I want to do. And see, because I think she's a lawyer, like Harvey Levin, I'm a lawyer. She's a lawyer, so she knows the round. And she was like, don't scream at me. I was like, oh, so now she's the victim. You got to have somebody that's going to go toe to toe with her. But with her, it was just like, man, why don't you answer the question? Well, I got to tell you the backstory as to why it happened. And I guess in some situations it is. But it seems like she has a lot of backstories. And sis, you carrying around all that cash, but you ain't want to pay your taxes. So you had all that cash, right? But you had back taxes. How did you pay the tax? I mean, it's just not adding up. It's not adding up. And one of the things I do know, guys, there's a digital footprint to all of us. Where we go, what we do, who we speak to, how far we go from home. Those lawyers have that digital footprint of Nathan and Fannie from probably maybe 2019 going forward, maybe before that. So they're sitting up here saying a lot of stuff that can more than likely be refuted. And everybody uses a debit card. Majority of the people do not use cash anymore. There's still some people who use cash, but it's just not believable to me, some of the stuff that they're saying. And I'm coming in just looking at this hearing for the first time. It's coming off as attitude. It's coming off as not believable. It's coming off as you're doing too much. And so, as they say, you make your bed, you lie in it, but it's not a good look. In Atlanta, that Howard University that connection with those that have gone to Howard. And it's so funny because I lived in Howard projects, but my teacher, Mrs. What was her name? Not Miss Novak, Ms. Zucker. Ms. Zucker, we had a bus that took all of the inner city kids to Washington, D.C., and we went to Howard University. And I was like, oh, everybody wanted to go to Howard. I don't know how many went to Howard, but we all wanted to go to Howard University. That was the first time some of us leaving the state and going to another school. But there's a very strong connection I'm starting to see. If you know, and especially in Atlanta, in the circles that run, Howard University plays a huge part. You're talking even in the music industry, political arenas. It is a very strong tie to that particular school. I digress. But anyway, y'all, yes, this hearing today, when I say it was explosive, they had to take a break. I didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't know if a fight was going to break out. Fannie's neck was rolling, fingers was going, and her tone was just, it was disrespectful to me, in my opinion. Very, very disrespectful. There was no level of decorum. And I'm like, didn't they? But I guess they picked the right people. My thing is, power can sometimes corrupt people. A lot of times it does. But people don't understand. Everybody is going to have their day of reckoning. And so I'm just looking at this saying, y'all don't read about these leaders and, people of power throughout history. The most famous history book is the Bible. And all of these prideful people that's so puffed up with pride, you can't tell them nothing. And we've seen this in cases with Nesto, and there's just a spirit over people of pride, arrogance, power, manipulation. And you can't tell them, see that finger right there? You can't tell them what to do. And then when they get in the hot seat, it's everybody else's fault. Sometimes, guys, nobody likes a rebuke. Nobody likes to be reprimanded, but sometimes you have to take it. And that means you got to humble yourself and be like, you know what? I was wrong. I did something wrong, and be able to take the correction. But in all cases where I see people cannot take correction, constructive criticism, cannot follow directions, can't listen, don't want to listen to anybody, it doesn't turn out good. And so when I tell you this is today, this is to hear, a lot of people, the reaction that I'm looking is like combative. Is there such thing? I don't know. I ain't a lawyer. Is a combative witness combative? I mean, it seemed very combative to me. And I felt very uncomfortable. I was like, Lord, Fannie, just chill out, sis. Answer the questions. But I guess she fighting for her life, y'all, her career and everything else. And then she also mentioned getting threats of unaliving and stuff like that. So, some of these positions, when they picked her for that to be the, over this case, I guess there's some positions that you just don't want. And when she took that position, there was probably a target on her back, and they probably dug into her every iota. They probably nitpicked every iota of the aspect of her life. That would have been a position, you know what? And sometimes people say, well, can't say unless you in that position. You don't know what you would do. I would have to have prayed on that, because they probably have picked, know the numbers of her hairs on her head. They probably have picked her life and her kids' life and family life straight through. I would not want that type of attention. I would just want to be regular and live my life. And now she is all over the place. And I think, y'all, her just being taking an offensive stance, being almost belligerent and with this attitude, and to me being even combative. But we're going to talk about timelines. We're going to talk about some other things. I told you guys 2 weeks ago, if you look at my live, it still is there, that I talked about Fannie. I was talking about Tiffany Henyard out there, the Supergirl mayor. I told you guys I would be talking about these things. So today is the day. But y'all, go back and watch that particular hearing today. Y'all, the gaslighting was gaslighting. Okay. Even when they was talking to Nathan about, the interrogatories that they did about whether or not, when he was married, was he with anybody or entertained? On the paper, he said no. And then today he said yes. It's like, what, man, they don't match. So which one is it? I'm telling you, some of these folks, majority of these folks are running this world. And unfortunately, some of them are narcs. That is true. It is just what it is. Some of them are running this country. Some of them are even psychopaths. And that's that they do very well in these high power positions. But as you can see, if you question them, they don't like to be questioned. You can't question them. And as soon as you question them, they get combative. And so this is what I'm seeing here today. But I'm going to be watching. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Fannie, it was explosive. It was something else. Let me tell you. Okay. They admitted the affair, but it was an explosive testimony today. So that finger was going right here. That neck was going. And honey, I'm going to be watching, and I want you guys to watch too. I did see the gaslight, and I don't know if I saw anything else there, but yeah, I will talk about this. I got some more videos to upload. So like, share, subscribe, and I will see you on the next upload. Peace, and I'm out.